Hello, hello, and welcome to day 5 of my Fearless 30 challenge that I'm participating in. 30 days of sharing something that I'm really deeply passionate about, my beliefs, my values, some perspectives and thoughts around different things. And hopefully to inspire and to help those that I can. So I didn't post yesterday because firstly I was on the road most of the day, and I also had quite a stretching and challenging experience, which I'm going to share with you today because today's prompt was my biggest mistake. And the timing is quite interesting that what happened yesterday is probably one that really ties into that theme that I can really talk about. So in terms of my biggest mistake, I've reflected over my life and I was like, well, I've made a lot of mistakes. And so, what would I actually put as my biggest mistake? And so, yesterday's experience helped me to sort of really bring that into perspective, what it is. And I would say my biggest perspective in life is actually seeing myself as the victim, putting myself in that victim mentality, mind space, vibrational frequency, because that actually attracted different experiences that made me the victim, whether it was to people's emotional abuse, which was a theme throughout my life, or just yesterday, I got scammed out of quite a bit of money because of somebody presenting and communicating so effectively and so well, obviously knowing their target audience so well, that someone like me, I consider myself to be highly, highly intuitive. I can read energy and I can feel into whether something is right or not. And because I have my own personal narrative around something this was something that I really wanted, and I had quite a full day. I had a lot going on, and I haven't learned the lesson to not make such big decisions when there's a lot of pressure going on. I felt into it for 2 days, so I did sort of give myself some time to make the decision, and I knew something was a little off, but I still felt like there were two options. So one was very pushy, very loud, like marketing was done really, really loudly. And like I said, really pushy. With this one, it was very respectful. There was no time pressure. I was presented with some well-researched facts. And so, yeah, it was quite a surprise to then find out that that's what happened. And at the same time, I handled it with a lot of elegance and grace. And I was like, okay, the old me would have said, well, I'm intuitive. I should have known. I should have known that this was going to happen. And the reality is I did. I knew that something was off. And because I was under pressure, because I really wanted it, because I had so much going on, I had a lot of energy that I was digesting on that particular day, I just decided to do it anyway, rather than wait to take a little more time, because I'd already, like, I'm a driven A-type personality, so like I want stuff done yesterday. And so, I've already waited 2 days, so like I'm ready to go, and so to then have to wait a little bit longer, just it wasn't, even though the signs were really there. Truly they were. And at the same time, part of me was saying, well, I should have known. And one of the things that I'm starting to realize about intuition, about that gut feeling, about that knowing, about whether something is right or wrong, or the time to take action on it, is it's not a silver bullet. It's not a masculine action where you can just tick it off and say, that's going to guarantee me a safe journey through life. I'm never going to get hurt. I'm never going to go through trials and tribulations. I'm always going to prevent calamities. I really am starting to understand that that's not why we came to this earth. We didn't come here to only experience the good, to only experience the light. We actually came here to experience the contrast, the dark, the challenging, the disappointing, the frustrating as well. As long as it's not the predominant, so as long as we're not stuck in that energy of, oh, life is against me and it's always so hard, why do these things always happen to me? And that would have been my old narrative. The interesting thing is, so So I handled it with grace, and I accepted. I knew that this was going to be the thing. And typically I would retaliate. So I want to like, no, I want to go make a criminal case. And I've been through this before because I've been scammed before when I, when I bought a horse saddle. It wasn't a big amount, but I went and made a open a criminal case, and I tried to get the money back, and it just created a lot of stress for me. And in the end I didn't, because they are so good. They move the money so fast, and they have false identities and things like that. So, you know, running around and hoping that you're going to get this money back and fix it, it really, like, my stress and my health isn't worth it. The energy is not worth it. So yesterday's one, I actually just sent love and light to this person, so that may there be some insight into, from another purpose, obviously from a different source somewhere, that this person, because obviously that person has hurt and been raised in that environment, and you know, so whipping them double with my negative energy going their way is really not going to help them. So rather send them positive energy, forgive them for what they did, because they did it because they are feeling hurt, because they've gone through hard times, and they are doing how they've been raised and what they know how to do to survive. And in their mind, they are entitled to that money. They are entitled to go through these actions, because surely this person can afford it, or you know, they're in a much better position than us, so we are allowed, we are entitled to take from them. And so rather than go to that vibrational level and speak into that and be the victim. So I'm the victim, because I realized there was still a little bit of that victim energy floating around for me from what has happened in the past couple of years, and throughout my life, in fact, you know, feeling powerless, feeling like the victim, like people are always treating me in a certain way. And so actually then keeping that vibration active of that happening over and over in my life. And so this time I'm breaking that pattern. I'm shifting out of that. And here's the wonderful thing that happened out of that. So this thing happened. I lost an amount of money, and it was a really great teaching moment for my daughter, because she was excited to see the new product, and then we found out it was a fake product, and she burst into tears, and she's like, "How can someone do this? Why aren't you angry? Why aren't you crying? Why aren't you expressing anything about this?" And I was like, well, this is life. This sometimes happens, and I'm okay with it, because I knew the risk going into this transaction, and so it didn't work out for me yesterday. Today, I got some fantastic news. I was looking for some funding for my Everest base camp trip. There's an amount that I still need for gear, to get some gear for the actual trip. And I was worried, like, where's this money going to come from? Because I'm still working on paying the actual trip amount. And, you know, obviously single mom running my own business, like there's a lot of moving parts at the moment. I've got growing children, I've got animals. So it was like, okay, you know, like, universe, this is what I need. And so today I got news that I actually got funding for some of the gear items. So I was like, my Everest dream is actually coming true. And I truly believe that it is because of the way that I handled this yesterday, that it opened the doors for this amount, which is more than what I lost yesterday, to come in and help me to fund this trip. So I'm really, really like feeling, okay, when we take the energy off and we move out of that victim energy and say, and when we take accountability, we take ownership, and we say, like, we attract certain experiences, and sometimes it's not really a vibrational match, it's just a contrast that shows up in our life, so that we can learn and grow from that, and so that we can see how much progress we've made. And so I'm super duper proud of myself for handling this really well. Does it still hurt that happened? Absolutely. It was a significant amount of money. And now I don't have the product, so I have to go and re-find another product, so spend some more money, and it's just not a nice feeling. There's a little bit of sting to it, and at the same time I'm like, you know what, this is not a universe of absolutes, of like, I'm losing something here, so I've got to replace it there. It's like losing something here, but I'm getting double back there, and I give here and then I receive from somewhere else. So we work in different ways, you know, and the way we support each other, and the way we are able to let this flow of give and take, coming in, going out, just let it flow, rather than keeping track of I remember, like, when I would receive a gift or someone would do something for me, it would create such a feeling of debt towards them. Like, okay, they've given me their time, or they've given me a gift. I've now got to pay it back or double it back. Like, somehow I've got to repay what they've done for me. And it became heavy. It became a burden. It felt like a responsibility that I now have to give to everyone that gave to me. And I had these lists of people that I one day want to pay back and do something back for, because they've done this amazing thing for me, and realizing it doesn't always work like that. So sometimes I'll receive from this one, and then someone else will need something, and I'm able to step up at the right time. I've got the capacity, I've got the resources, I've got the time, I've got the ability to help and to give to those people. And so just being really comfortable and happy with this ebb and flow, this beautiful give and take that goes around, and getting myself out of that victim mode. So if I've got to sum it up in terms of my biggest mistake in my life up to now, has just been keeping myself in that victim narrative, feeling like a victim, feeling like things happen to me instead of for me, and that I can learn and grow through them. And it's a process, really. It's like, of course, I wish it could have worked out differently. Of course, I wish I made a better decision, and I still trust my intuition, because there was a part of me that knew something was off, and I still made the decision to make the risk, and I learned from this. So I learned about timing. I learned about taking even more time to make my decisions, to trust when something feels off, that there will be a better time that comes, and the resources will be there. So, and that is me today, sharing my biggest mistake and my journey to coming out of this and empowering, stepping into that place of power. I have choices. I have choices about how I respond to these things that happen in my life. If it didn't happen in this particular way, it would have happened in a different way. And it has. I've been the victim to different things in different times of my life. And I can choose to not view myself as a victim and say, well, that was just another life experience. It's part of life. That's what happens. And I've had this amazing teaching moment that I could share with my daughter. And I then, at the back of that, got this amazing news that I've got some funds coming in for the gear for this wonderful dream, once in a lifetime dream opportunity. So that's me for today. Thank you for joining. If you are taking part in the Fearless City Challenge, pop below. I'd love to come and follow and support you, or leave a comment if anything in this video resonates with you today. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.